Before we get started, I want to thank all of my Patreons. The Patreons support all of the things that I'm trying to accomplish, the people I'm trying to help, and the things I'm trying to do. Once again, thank you for your support, and I hope you watching this video will think about becoming a Patreon.
I think it's on. All right, so I came up with this epiphany. I like to do live streams while I'm driving because it's basically a 5.5, 6 hour drive. It's a great way to interact, make time go faster, build content. It's just a win-win all the way around. But I noticed that a lot of people don't watch my live streams on YouTube anymore. And they don't do that because I kind of pissed them off and said, oh, go to Rumble. And well, I mean, I guess if you're that mentally weak, then so be it. But here's the thing. What I also discovered is that people like to listen to my live streams as like a background or while they're doing something else, almost like a podcast. So I figured I would give this a try. So during my podcast, what I will normally tell you, and yes, I'm very sorry I have not been doing my podcast. I've just been so busy with some other projects that I can't really talk about right now. But I will be doing getting back on my regular Anchor / Spotify podcast. As soon as I can, I'll start doing that. We're going to take this for a ride, see what happens with this. So what I'll normally do during the podcast is introduce myself, give you a basic idea of what's going to happen, and then I'll tell you who's paying for it. Well, all the Patreons. If you're not in the Patreon, then I recommend that you do it. There's a lot of good information being passed. We interact with each other day to day. No joke, it's happening every single day. This is not like, oh, he was here live answering our questions and now he's gone for a week. No, in the Patreon, it's all day. So I do recommend that you get in there. My catchphrase for that is pretty simple. You can give me $3 a month, or you can spend more money than you want to in my Amazon store. Yeah, I got an Amazon store. So what? You want to fight about it? Anyway, so I was listening to some of the other preppers that are online this morning, looking for inspiration, and I ran across one of the videos from Pinball, and how he was talking about trying to give that's a state trooper coming up behind me, but I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I could be wrong, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell, it's like right there someplace. And what he was talking about was family members and friends that you've been trying to warn that aren't listening. You're trying to tell them to start stocking food, stocking water, preparing, for when things start to get really, really bad. Yep, that is an unmarked state trooper car that just passed us. SHP 176. Bad trooper. Anyway. You can't even see. He doesn't have any external antennas. That's wild looking. Okay, that is definitely new. But he's got everything in the back in his rear glass. All right, so getting back on point. Letting people know that they need to start preparing. The naysayers, the ones that are just got their head in the sand, know everything will be fine. We're talking about the people that, what's going on now? Come on. Sorry guys, this is part of the driving. I'm now trapped by a semi-truck that, it is what it is. Let's see. The fuck, dude? You saw my signal. Sorry. Anyhow, so these people that just don't want to listen, they're in denial, and I actually think Pinball was being a little too nice, okay? And I think he was being a little too nice because his philosophy was to send these people articles supporting his position or supporting the position to prepare. Legitimate World Health Organizations, World Food Fund, statements from global leadership. When I say that, I mean not like global leaders, but like as in, the Prime Minister for Germany, shit like that. So anyway, and my philosophy is a little bit different because what he actually said to do was, well, he didn't say to do it, but he gave his audience an idea of what to do. And it's actually kind of simple, but I don't think it'll be effective. And here's why. What he asked him to do was draw up like a little piece of paper that says, hey, remember when I told you that this was going to happen? I want you to sign this piece of paper that says, I will not come to your house asking for food. That way I can hold it up to you when you show up at my house asking for food. In my opinion, that is a recipe for disaster. Some quick really bad idea. Well, let's see. You just told these people that you'll have food, that you expect them to show up, and that you're going to show them this little piece of paper. Now, if they're family, whatever, I live outside of that box. I live out in the, I'm a prepper, I have stuff, don't show up or I'll put you in the ground. I live in that realm. But when it comes to family, it's a different story. You actually think that this little piece of paper is going to stop them? If these are really your friends, you think that little piece of paper is going to stop them? You think this is going to be some kind of magical I told you so moment? It makes things worse. I thought to myself, what are some better ideas? I honestly just only came up with one. Because the people who know me know that I only have stock and shovels. And yeah. So try to get people that are in your circle, that are in your inner circle, to understand that this is important. You love them, you care for them, they're your friends, they're your family. To get them to understand that this is important and you need to start putting some food stores away at the minimum. I think it's actually pretty simple. Tell them to do it. Alpha up. It is that easy. And if they don't like it, well, so be it. They don't like it. If they don't want to be told what to do, that's fine. But I tell you what, there's a pecking order in life. There's a hierarchy in life. And these people understand it and are completely happy floating in the middle someplace. But when you go to the store and you spend $120 where you used to spend $30, $35. This happened to me this weekend. Then something should be going on inside people's heads. There should be a red star cluster popping in their heads. I actually had somebody come up to me the other day that recognized me, and we talked for a minute, and they weren't crazy or anything. They just thought what was going on was neat. He asked me, do I really think that stuff's going on? I said, have you looked at your grocery bill? Stuff is going on. And I asked this person if they were preparing, if they were putting food aside. And they told me that they had done it a little bit. I was like, well, I mean, are you still going out to dinner? Are you still taking your family out to dinner? You know, are you still doing everything that you would normally be doing? You know, spending money on, you know, just driving around frivolously and weekend trips to the beach and things like that. And they were like, yeah, well, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to be happy. And I was like, well, that's dynamite. But what if you just didn't go to the beach and spend that gas money on extra food? You have memories. You can create more memories. You know, you can't create Jiffy brand peanut butter out of your mind because you willed it to happen. You can't do that. You know, you can't will a steak to appear. You can't will chicken, which is running out because of the bird flu. You can't will that to happen. So right now, while you have some kind of control over what's happening in your life, why don't you do the things that is going to make your life better when things get bad? Because things are going to get bad. That's the whole premise of this. That's the whole idea behind people who don't believe in preparing, is because they're like, there's nothing to prepare for. And you need to let that sink in, because this is the major non-buy-in for that type of individual. They don't buy into that idea that there's something to prepare for. Therefore, there's no reason to prepare. And for some people, this trigger point of we're now in using our preps mode, you know, we are now in full-blown things are bad mode, where we're no longer going out to dinner, while we are pinching every penny, while we are canceling our Netflix. And I know someone's going to say, I already did that, man. Netflix sucks. Hey, I like Netflix. Before we get to that point, why don't we start being proactive and start building that stockpile that will ensure that we don't, you know, Pinball's analogy was, you know, there's 10 million people in the United States that won't have supper tonight. And what happens when it's 100 million? I'm not sure about his numbers, but I can tell you that there are times when people go without food. And this is bad. But my brain goes in 12 different directions when I start talking about a specific subject, because there are lots of variables that surround that. But trying to stay on point, you don't have to convince anybody to become a prepper. You have to tell them to become a prepper. Everybody wants facts. Okay, look at the price of gas. Look at the price of food. Look at the world state itself. You don't have to analyze that fertilizer is a problem. It is a problem. We're in the middle of a crisis that has nothing to do with the things that we deal with in our lives. It has everything to do with the crisis of assets, items, the primary items that create the secondary and third events that we think about. For instance, let me just break it down pretty easy. So we're running out of chickens. Why are we running out of chickens? Because of the bird flu. So now we got to kill all our chickens, all the feed that goes to the chickens, sanitize the place, whatever it is. Now this guy's got to start over. He's got two choices. He can just give up, in which he's screwed, or he can start over. Okay, let's start over. Here's the plan. We're going to raise more chickens. Dynamite. Where do we get the chickens? There's the question. Oh, we'll just get some more someplace. Let's say we can do that. We got to feed the chickens. How are we going to feed the chickens? Well, we're going to get chicken feed. We're going to get corn. Okay, let's do that. Well, we can't grow the feed or the corn. Most of the feed is corn because we can't grow the corn because there's not enough fertilizer. All right, let's get more fertilizer. You can't get more fertilizer because most of the fertilizer comes from outside of the United States. You see the problem? Okay, so once again, stop writing notes. Stop begging people to prepare. Tell them to prepare and be done with it. If they don't, they don't. If there's bad people in your life, put stock in shovels and then be prepared for that to happen. All right, guys, once again, this video is brought to you by my Patreons. They're the ones that make all this stuff happen and give me the ability to do these things for you. If you're not a member of the Patreon, please do join the Patreon. It's $3 a month, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper than buying shit off my Amazon store. All right, guys, until the next time, stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Live, raw, from the road, Local Prepper. Later.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you decide to support the page. If you like what I'm doing, go ahead and hit that link below. If it didn't take you directly to it, you can just hit the support page. That's what it should look like. All you have to do is either hit the Patreon symbol, the join, or the letters. It doesn't matter. And just hit, and that'll get you started. It's only $3 a month, and I tell you what, it is money well spent, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper than buying stuff off my Amazon page. Okay, until the next time, stay safe, have a great day, and I will see you when I see you. Bye-bye.